Welcome back to Ireland AM. Last night saw the end of the 2025 Love Island season as Toni and Cach were named the latest winning couple, which Orlaith Condon is happy about.
Yeah, I'm happy.
She's happy.
Yeah.
If the woman who knows what she's talking about is happy,
this decision,
we're all good. Let's take a look at the moment where the winning couple were announced.
The winners of Love Island 2025 are... Toni and Cach!
As they can hear the contracts for 6 months of a relationship being signed.
Yeah.
Got to stay together for 6 months.
So romantic, isn't it?
So Toni and Cach, how long have they been together?
They have only been together since Casa Amor. So this is really unique winner's result here because
Is that not Greg as well? Greg and Amber?
So Greg came in 10 days to the end. Greg was one of the last bombshells to walk through those doors. A miracle that he was crowned. Like another absolute feat to achieve.
Best, I watched those last 10 days, obviously, because he was from Limerick, and I was just like, fair play, love it.
What was the thought process behind that? We'll never forget it.
Brilliant.
Like iconic moment of TV.
Yes.
But Toni was our night one bombshell, the first bombshell in through the doors, the big twist at the top of the season. Cach did not make his way in until Casa Amor. So for both of them to make it all this way, to have survived the Harrison controversy of kind of the final weeks and to have been crowned winners, massive result, especially considering there's no US votes that were coming in for Toni. So she got this all off the back of kind of introducing herself to the UK voters and winning them over.
Yeah, because often you've got people, originals, OGs, who get all the way to the end. That's the one that we're kind of always thinking about. Now, they were going up against a couple that people loved and hated.
Yeah, so Shakira and Harry came second. And the only reason they did so is because Shakira is so well liked. She is the people's princess. We have rooted for her all season. Ofcom received a huge number of complaints about kind of bullying against her and feeling like she was being kind of targeted in there. So the people love Shakira. The people do not like Harry, but he did enough in 5 days to kind of bring that level of aggression down. He softened enough in 5 days that they managed to get to second place. She would have won this with a blow-up doll. He pulled her back there. Like, she really would have won this with very low effort. This could have been an easy day in the office for Shakira, and Harry was just bringing that average down. They got to second place, a big surprise, but it was a really, really good result. Yeah.
OK, what are the moments that are going to stand out in this series that people will be like, it's iconic or it's not?
Oh, I mean, honestly, this series, there was a lot. Like, a big part of the conversation now is about how there was a lot more toxic energy in there this year and there was a lot more kind of complaints and all this kind of stuff. Alongside that conversation will be a lot of people saying, I enjoyed it so much more this year. It was so much more entertaining. So there's kind of, we need to delineate like what's toxic and what's good gameplay and what's going to really push the story on, because there was a lot of moments that fell into that category this year.
So do you think that people are kind of, obviously they've been, and they should rightly be worried about aftercare, about people's mental health when they're inside there. But unfortunately, life is a bit messy and they let them get a little bit more messy this year than they have in previous years.
Absolutely. The reins were looser this year.
Okay.
You could feel it. And even in the way the votes were going, I mean, we discussed it on here when they threw it to public votes, the way they worked that's all thought about by the production room, right? And it felt like they were taking that risk to choose chaos a little bit more this season. It meant we had higher stakes. It was much more cutthroat. We saw a lot more kind of bigger names leave in shock dumpings, which is obviously more exciting to watch. You want those high stakes. You want to feel like your favourite could go at any moment. They definitely brought that this year. But with that will also come a lot of complaints with a lot of the behaviours that we see from predominantly men on this show. Even you said, oh, is that the guy who got the Women's Aid complaint? I was like, no, that's another fella. And another fella, actually. So there was 3 fellas in there this year who had a lot of people kind of bristling, and for very good reason.
How dare you lift the veil that I'm not watching Love Island every second of the day. Because they are the controversial moments from Harrison.
Yeah, I mean, Harrison's, that couple of weeks after Casa Amor, when he brought Lauren back and he was kind of still opening the door with Toni, and that kind of love square with Cach, all that went on. Women's Aid came out with the statement. He left the villa and said, well, I have a mum and a sister, so I couldn't possibly hate women. Leave you to discuss that and figure it out for yourself.
Oh my God.
But that was essentially the response. So, and it was clear then that Love Island also weren't worrying as much about it as they have in previous years. The reins were looser, but Toni and Cach survived that and ended up winning.
In the year of our Lord, 2025, I know 2 women, therefore I can't hate
My
women.
mum, yeah, absolutely.
Okay, now we had two Irish Love Island contestants?
We had 4 Love Island Irish contestants this year. We had a lot of Irish talent going this year.
So how do they get on?
We had Conor and Megan were probably our top contestants this year. Went in day 1. Conor was a last minute addition to that OG lineup, so just made it in there before the show launched at the top of the season. They got together. Megan was dumped earlier in the season.
Surprise jump, yes.
Yeah, this was a surprise twist where they brought Megan back. Her and Conor recoupled. They made it all the way to the top 6, leaving on Friday night. I think that was wrong. I think they should have lasted a little bit longer.
They were lovely.
They were lovely, and it was real, and they were entertaining to watch. But I think there was a lot of, organising that was going on for votes, and I think they kind of slipped in that conversation, so they left on Friday night.
Gotcha, of course, with the Irish not being able to vote as well. That will happen.
Yeah, absolutely. They had no home crowd being able to support
And then the
them.
2 other ones that were in it.
So we had Yaz and Jamie, who I thought really were going to take the winning crown there at the end, and Angel and Ty, who honestly you've probably forgotten about this morning. Don't worry about it. They really brought nothing to the screens. I'm happy for them. But
okay, so what's next? Traitors. You're all right. We're okay. We're good.
Big Brother, All Stars has been confirmed. Loads of reality TV to enjoy over the next 2 months.
Fantastic. Orlaith Condon, thank you so much for being with us every single week. You're the best. Thank you so much.